Thank you and welcome to another Lessons Learned, sponsored by Healthy Communities Coalitions, where community health matters. Today, we're excited to be joined by one of my former colleagues, Mrs. Tycee Bell, and she is sharing with us her lesson learned. So Tycee, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, Edie. It is so good to be here. My name is Tycee Bell, as Edie mentioned, and I am the visionary director of the Community Cultivation Project, which is the 501c3, and Seven Mountains, which is my LLC where I help consult those community leaders and partners and organizations in a city of Joliet and the greater Will County.
Okay, so because our audience spans Illinois, and many of those who are watching are likely in Baltimore, Maryland, and then everywhere else. Okay, so we met at Girl Scouts of Greater Chicago and Northwest Indiana, which is in Illinois, and Joliet is in Illinois. What other areas does Will County cover?
Oh, wow. Will County is the fourth largest county in Illinois. So we are pretty big. We actually cover Crest Hill, Romeoville, Bolingbrook, Crete, Manhattan. I know I'm going to miss somebody, but Bolingbrook, Romeoville.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. I said Crete. Yeah, I did say Crete Monique. Yes.
I didn't know Bolingbrook. Okay, cool. How about Plainfield?
Plainfield. I'm sorry. Yes, we love our play. I love.
I didn't realize that. Oh, that's
right here. Shorewood. See, I knew it. But that's what happens when we say Greater Will County or Greater Joliet. It is all encompassing, but it is a very large county. Yes, it is very large. I think we don't want to get into statistics, but we are pretty large, fourth largest.
And I know you've been involved in so many things working in the community. So what's your background working in the community in terms of how many years of experience do you have working?
Yeah, I am probably almost at 26. I was doing some counting the other day. Wow. And my background really started right into college, where I started working in the group homes and bringing the youth that I was working with then into the community for community outreach programming. Many group homes, many may not realize that engaging in the community is important to those young people who are in group home settings because it's that connection and engagement with where they live and their society and the norm, right? Trying to keep them balanced out and not just in a day program. And so I started doing that at the age of 17. And then when I moved back to Joliet in 99, I spent some time in college away, and I came back and I started working faith-based communities. So faith-based at the churches, the after-school program, food and nutrition program, and those overlapped with programs like Teen Reach. Mm-hmm. And by that time, I was at the Salvation Army. I spent some time with University of Illinois Extension doing the food program because I had that experience. So SNAP Ed was a new program, but it was very, very similar and the same guidelines to the children and family meal program at the time. And then I met you at Girl Scouts, transitioning between the two. And so, so a lot of my time has not just been focused on youth development, but actually the outreach and the connection with the families in the community. So whether that be because of a grant or because of the mission that organizations like Salvation, Girl Scouts, and some of the churches that I worked at. But the faith-based community was really my core of getting involved and acclimated with community building and community partners.
Wow. Isn't it amazing that many of us who work in the community, you can tell when people follow their passions because you always just work in the community in one capacity or another.
Yes, always. Always. At one point, I was only in a 1 mile radius of my jobs. I remember saying, wow, this is so amazing. Like I've never traveled more than 1 mile outside of where I lived to go to work.
Wow. That's a testament. I mean, it really is, because many of us have to wake up, get in our cars, drive for an hour. Yeah. And it is, it's a true testament to you working where you live. Mm-hmm. And that was my position in Baltimore. I was able to actually walk to, we had a couple of community sites, and the community sites were the churches. and I was able to actually walk to those sites to work. Oh, well, anyway, that's really how I got the term community lady. Because
Oh,
people,
that's
yeah,
wonderful.
because people would see me and they wouldn't know my name, but they would always say, "Oh, that's the community lady," and
Oh,
they would come up to me, "Aren't you the community lady?" I was like, "Yes." Look, and the good
yeah.
part is, it was always in a positive way.
Mhm.
It wasn't ever, oh, that's that community lady.
Oh yeah, because there are people who do not have a positive image, right, in the
Mhm,
community, especially when you do community mapping and
mhm.
asset planning and things like that. I know you're talking about that later and in some of your series, right? Knowing who's
Yes.
there. But yeah, I had a similar experience. Miss Tycee,
Mhm.
Tycee, known by friends. And then eventually, I was like, hey, I'm a community cultivator. This is what I do. I'm owning it.
That's
You
it right there.
face to face,
That's it.
field manager, but community worker, those things kind of stick with folks. So that's good to hear.
Mhm. So I know with your vast experience, I know you have several lessons learned. I want to challenge you to share one lesson learned that will either inspire, inform, motivate, comfort, or advise someone who's considering entering working in communities or who's currently working in communities and trying to decide if this is a good fit for them, or in one of those phases where they're like, am I feeling appreciated enough? What one lesson can you share?
Um, I think, one of the lessons that I talk, or at least try to navigate and spend time in with new leaders, current leaders, is doing it with others. A lot of times we talk about being high level, so we'll say partners, organizations, and we'll go really high to reach for who's at the top. And grassroots, when you're doing community work, it's who's with you, right? So it's that collective community. It's who's your neighbor, who looks like you, who spends time in the same space that you do. So for me, that lesson is don't do that alone, right? Build out those plans. If there's a program that you're looking at doing, or building out, have something to put in. So I know that was two lessons in one. I do that often. So I'm saying specifically, do it together, right? Look at your community and look at who is working on some of the things that you have a desire to work on. And when you
Mm,
start to build your capacity, so whether that's a staffing plan, whether that's something that you talk about when you're working on grants, right? And it's something that you currently do it together. So that's bringing that team in, and it could be inside of your organization where you already have workers and a community and a space that work with you and alongside you. Or again, like I said, it could be outside. So you want to spend time cultivating that group of collective people in order to bring forth whatever your mission and your plan is. I worked with a lady recently, and one of the things that we talked about was just saving people, and a lot of times that's what we want to do in the community. We want to save everyone. And the first question I asked her was, who are these people?
mhm,
What do they do? What do they feel? And so as we started to have that
mm,
conversation, she started to realize that there were a lot of people that do that. And it wasn't to make her feel uneasy. It was to
mhm.
have her use the last event that she had as a springboard to narrow in on what she does best, what she does well. And I said, who helped you with the last activity? And she said, it was just me. And I said, oh, I thought you had to call the church for the space. And she said, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I said, well, the
Mhm,
church. And I said, who helped you, with your raffle? Oh, it was, and she began to name people. And I
mhm.
said, so let's put them down, right? Because you're building and you're getting to their
Absolutely.
core, they share the values. And so I felt like we never want to feel alone, especially when we're starting off,
Mhm.
because the jobs that we do in the community, we tend to come right back home, and we don't want to feel like we don't have another reason to get up the next day and do it all over again.
Okay, absolutely. So you're finding some like-minded people to
Mhm.
connect with, and then you're working together to build.
Yes,
And
yes.
you're realizing that everyone brings value.
Mhm.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. Wow. That's a lot. I'm trying to keep myself from asking more questions because I want to stay to the format of this show. And it is to share one lesson learned. And we will absolutely leave your contact information below. We want to thank people for watching. We wanted to keep these segments, short and sweet to make certain that we're maintaining attention. And there will be others who are coming along as well. But we will make certain that we share your contact information in the links and the information below. More information about your community cultivation project. Are there any final thoughts before I close out?
My final thought is I really appreciate the value that you're bringing to highlight community work. There's nothing more important than organizing and putting things in a space where we can all have the resources that we need. So I just really want to thank you, your community that you're building here with us and with other love-minded individuals who really love what they do and want to bring more to their communities, because it is important that we cultivate as well as motivate others to do what they feel led to do. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Well, we're all in great company. Thank you for watching. We really hope you've gotten something out of today's segment and all of the lessons learned. If there are topics that you'd like for us to go over, please leave them below. Until next time, keep doing, keep moving, and keep shaking things up in your communities. Peace.
Working in community, no place I'd rather be. Working in community, lifting, loving, setting free. Don't know where